As you set out to achieve your goals in life, you must understand that the spiritual principles of manifestation are very important to practice. And it's very important to really contemplate yourself, come into true self-awareness as to what you're good at, what you're not good at, and being mindful that you can use all aspects of who you are to create the things and the lifestyle that you desire. Remember that this is about the unfoldment of who you are. This is about the self-realization of who you are. So you have to realize that this journey is not going to be a journey that is simply about pleasure and simply about things being easy and things just flowing all the time. You have to be willing to tap into the parts of you that you feel maybe even forced, or you feel conflict, and you feel maybe some struggle, you feel some kind of levels of pain, whether it be emotional pain or physical pain. And that is because it all depends on what it is that you are seeking to achieve. Like somebody like me who really enjoys fitness, I enjoy being active. I love going through and challenging myself physically. I love running. I love working out, lifting weights, CrossFit, marathons, things of that nature. And so as I explore and expand upon those things, I have to force myself and to push myself to go beyond my current limitations in order to grow. Okay. So really what I want to talk to you about is the importance of understanding the difference between discipline and consistency. Because a lot of people think that if you are consistent, that means you are disciplined, right? And if you are disciplined, that means you are consistent. But though they are closely related, they are two completely different things. And so when we go through and we are beginning a process, we are beginning a journey of change, right? Changing who we once were and coming into who we truly are along this journey of self-realization, right? And creating and materializing the things that we desire. You're going to deal with doing things that you simply are not in the mood or simply don't want to do. But you recognize that by doing it, you are going to tap into and create a result that you truly desire. You see, and this is where discipline comes in, because there are many times where I committed and I told myself, listen, I'm going to run 9 miles today. And I'll wake up in the morning before the sun even comes up, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I simply just don't want to do it, right? Now, many people will just simply lay in bed, right? But when I remember that, one, I committed to doing this and I told myself that I was going to do this. But two, more importantly, is that there is a goal that I am going to achieve. And in order for me to achieve that goal, I have to do what I said I was going to do. I have to go out and run. This is the essence of discipline. Discipline isn't doing something over and over again. Discipline is about doing it when you don't want to, because there is an outcome that you are destined and focused on achieving. You see, it is the ability to get up in the morning and say, you know what? I said I'm going to do this. Therefore, in order for me to do this, this is a very important part of the process, a very important part of the journey of training and building yourself up, right? And you may be pissed off and you may start cursing and you may be upset, especially in the beginning. But eventually over time, even while you are doing the thing, you realize that it isn't so bad, right? So you keep going and you keep doing it. And eventually that discipline, pushing yourself, becomes a superpower in itself. Because throughout life, when you recognize that there are things that you want to achieve, you kind of know that there are going to be some things that you're not going to want to do in order to achieve those things. Very rarely is there something you want to achieve, but everything that entails getting there is going to be pleasurable and in full alignment and fully enjoyable for you. Very rarely does that happen. Most times the things that are worth getting involve some level of struggle, involve some level of challenge. That's what makes it so amazing and so beautiful when you actually achieve it. That's what makes it special. That's what makes accomplishments what they are. Being able to push through your ego saying, listen, we can just stay in bed. Push through your ego saying, listen, we can just continue to eat burgers and fries. Continuing to push through and say, listen, I don't have to change who I am, right? I don't have to grow. I don't have to read books. I don't have to, go to school, right? You can constantly be in a space where you just simply are just allowing yourself to be comfortable wherever you are because it's familiar. Whereas if you want to change, you have to push yourself out of that comfort zone and recognize that it is through discipline that you actually do the grunt work, right? The uncomfortable part of it. Now, on the other hand, you have to be consistent, which means you just have to do it over and over and over and over again. The great thing, though, is that when you are disciplined, the beginning is going to be the hardest. But because you are consistent with that, right, the discipline will then become habit. See, and that's the beauty of all this. We look at a lot of people and we think this person is amazing because they are doing this thing, right? They are constantly doing this. They are constantly getting up. They are constantly focused. They are constantly doing what they said they're going to do. And they have achieved and made some great strides, right? And done some amazing things that most people are just not doing. And that is because they were able to push through that phase of discipline. And even though they still go through it, don't get me wrong, but over the course of time, that consistency turns that discipline into a habit. So it becomes a way of life for them. Like for me, getting up at 5 a.m. is somewhat of a difficult thing sometimes, but once I hear my alarm go off, sometimes I get up before my alarm and I just simply get up and I get going. And that's just the way it is, because I know that me not doing it goes against my programming, because I have programmed myself to be consistent, right? And that consistency and then that it becomes a habitual way of being. And I feel great once I've done it. I feel like a great sense of accomplishment once I've done what I said I was going to do and push through the difficulty of not wanting to do it, right? Because at the moment it's not pleasurable. And so you get to this space of recognizing, okay, I've achieved this. I've beaten myself. I've beaten that weak part of myself, and I've achieved that thing for that moment in time. And so as you consistently do that, that becomes a way of life for you. And so it becomes easier, right? In fact, sometimes it is hard not to do it. It is hard to decide, what, I'm going to lay in bed today, right? I'm going to give myself one break out of the month or the week, right? And then you still feel a level of guilt, man, I should have just went out there and did it, because I would have felt so much better in my mind and in my spirit because I accomplished the thing that, isn't as feel good, right? The thing that is difficult for a lot of people, but I am able to achieve it. Okay. So understand that discipline is very important. It is the thing that is going to truly get you through and allow you to break free of the bondage of your negative paradigms, the bondage of who you think you are but truly aren't, and really break into the truth. So whatever it is that you want to achieve in life, you have to recognize that where you are now is not that. And so you must practice discipline in doing the things that seem uncomfortable in the beginning in order for you to actually achieve that thing. But trust me, with consistency, you doing that thing that does not feel comfortable will become habitual. It will become a way of life for you. And the result will always show itself and always be there to remind you that you are the creator of your universe and that there is literally nothing you cannot do. Thank you so much. Continue to join me on this journey. Feel free to subscribe to my newsletter at peterabundant.com and also get access to this free ebook. Thank you so much. Peace and abundance always.